Hello, in this tutorial I'm going to be showing you how to make a bowl of marbles in Cinema 4D with some interesting effects applied. So I'm just going to use the light rig we developed in a previous tutorial, and for the purposes of developing the models and stuff like that, we're just going to turn this off in the viewport. Now we want to make a bowl with some marbles in it, so the first thing I'm going to do is make the bowl. So we're going to hit the sphere, just select hemisphere, and increase the rotation segments, which I normally do. Just reduce the size of that. You can see the sphere here, it normally does this. There's no option to kind of project it different with different direct XYZ coordinates, so you have to just rotate it manually, which is easy enough, to be fair. Okay, so the sphere is here, and now we're going to add some thickness, because I got a thickness for that thickness. Generator cloth surface. I normally go to the help menu because I can't be arsed to navigate the menus. I know what I want. And if there's something cool in the menus one time, you can just find it. But yeah, just jump in here. Increase our thickness here of the bowl. I'm going to make a wooden bowl, and they're normally quite thick, aren't they, to stop them from breaking. So I mean, I guess they can be quite thin. I don't know, but I like a nice thick wooden bowl. So here's a nice thick wooden bowl. But it's not wood yet because we haven't actually selected some wood. But I've been looking at wood already. And I'm just going to go for this parquet or whatever you want to call it. That's the problem with learning words by reading them. It makes you don't know how to pronounce them. And here we go. Here's our bowl. It looks a bit weird because we've just done UV mapping straight up. If I just do flat mapping and rotate the texture a little bit, that should give us a bit of yeah, like what you get with a real bowl. Because obviously with wood, it's carved out of a single piece of wood, so all the grain goes the same direction right through the object, so projecting it flat is perfect for this purpose. So now we have our bowl made. I want to just use it's under bullet tags. These used to be under simulation tags, okay? But they moved them. Sorry, all the simulation tags are here now. Oh goodness. Simulation tags. Okay, just rip that off. So there's a simulation tag. You'll notice that the rigid body and collider body are no longer in there because Maxon moved them a couple of versions ago, so they're now under bullet tags. So I thought it was important to mention that if you're coming from a previous version of Cinema 4D, just to help you out. So there's our cloth surface, and this has got the wrong tag in it because I was too busy talking. Right, stick a collider body on there. That's given us our cloth surface. We need to just create the shape to I normally use a moving mesh. So we've got our cloth surface, we've got our tag. Now we need to make our small balls. And that's obviously not a very small ball. Okay, cool. There's our small ball. And we're going to make just going to have these in nice pretty colors. So here's our sphere. So here's a cloner tag. Here's a little time-saving trick. If you highlight the sphere or select the sphere, you can just hold your Option key on the keyboard and click on your cloner, and it'll drop that sphere straight into your cloner. To bear in mind, it will create multiple cloners if you try and do it with multiple objects. So there is that to consider, which is a bit annoying, in fact, because the cloner does support multiple objects, which I'm about to demonstrate. So here's two spheres. Yeah, we have a orange sphere and a blue sphere. Okay, and we're going to just reduce the size of that cloner because it's gigantic at the moment, so I think 100 each should be fine. And there is our sphere. So we're just going to have 3 here, so that gives us 3 times 3. Have we got any tags on this? No, we don't. So we stick our bullet tag, we stick our rigid body tag, and then we'll hit play. And now we have a nice bowl with some marbles in it, which is lovely. So what we want to do is create a kind of a dynamic effect feel to this. So we'll just hit the back button. Obviously, F8 on the keyboard pauses and stops your animation if you want to use a keyboard shortcut. And the next thing we're going to do is going to just kind of optimize this for the animation. So these spheres, let's just make them a tiny bit smaller. Now we're going to have more of them. So we're going to have about 6 each way. And we need to just make, oh my god, hold on. Okay, and we just need to make the cloner so it fits in the bowl. So the next thing to consider is how we're going to do this. So I'm going to just go crazy with the vertical ones, because it doesn't really matter. I'm not going to have this bowl full. I just want them, I'm actually going to reduce the number of them this way and increase the number of them this way. And the reason I'm doing that is because when I want these balls to fall in, I want them to spill out of the bowl again. And so that should, yeah, that gives us a nice bushy kind of vibe. So obviously we want to lift this up using the laws of physics to lift it up, and then that should come flying out once it hits the curve of the bowl. So yeah, that's cool. So like that basically. So what we want to do next is we right click on this or double tap with fingers or whatever. We're going to stick our motion blur tag on here, and I think that is under render tags. So there you go, there's your motion blur. We'll stick that on there. We need that because we're going to enable motion blur in the render settings, and we're also going to enable depth of field. Now we need to set a camera up because we got depth of field, so I'm just going to set a camera up here. That's going to be our camera. So now I should, if I've actually calibrated my camera correctly, there we go. So that should give us a bit of depth of field once I've set the physical tab to about 1. Let's see what happens here. It's not going to give us any motion blur, and also it's not going to give us anything at the moment because it's got a great big front light in the way. So we need to move that, which I had forgotten about. Let's just move that out of the camera's way, and there we go. So there's our bow. Let's just see what happens when we render that. It should give us a little bit of depth. Yeah, there's a little bit of depth of field happening. It's not an amazing amount, but it's there. It's cool. I'm gonna get rid of that floor because I just want it to be just the bowl and the marbles. Okay, cool. So I've just been playing around with some settings, and I've kind of gone in here into mode project, and in simulation here in this tab you can mess around with gravity and stuff. I've just experimented with changing it to 0, and it's kind of giving me some interesting effects. By and large, this is kind of what we want, so here we are. So basically what you want to do is I normally press F8 on the keyboard, and that will, I can then kind of hit it and stop it, hit it and stop it. And obviously we're trying to avoid the intersections here, which kind of sometimes occur with Cinema 4D's physics engine. Like I said, the collision detection can be a bit iffy. So we just get what we need here. I think that's quite nice, and we can kind of just work around any sort of intersections that we've got, because it is going to happen and you need to know how to work around it. So that's how we're going to roll with that for now. Our camera, just going to make sure our camera's here. I want to get a nice kind of artistic depth of field, and it should look cool with the motion blur as well. So I'm just going to move this camera in. All right, let's just set the camera up first into the, so we've got the cloth surface in here, and yeah, that'll be cool. I think I just have this kind of at an angle. Looks like the bowl's chucking them out. I wonder. Okay, that should be cool. So here I'm just going to do a quick test render of that. It's going to be completely out of focus, of course, because I haven't actually set my camera up. And here we go. Put it there, so it kind of gives us a little bit of depth of field, but not too much. And the motion blur won't occur till we've rendered, unfortunately, because that just seems to be the way it works. Okay, so that's cool. We should be able, let's just try rendering it. I'll see what happens with the global illumination. Okay, we're good. So sometimes you need to cache the cloner. And that is under cloner MoGraph tags and MoGraph cache. Just tear that off. We didn't need to do it on this occasion, but we're going to see if the motion blur works. Sometimes you do need to do it, sometimes you don't. It's one of those things. If it doesn't work, just use the MoGraph cache tag, and then you just click on the tag and hit bake frame or bake, and then it'll give you what you need. But it looks like we've got some good motion blur coming so far on this quick test render that we're doing. So yeah, cool.
A few moments later.
And so there we have our bowl of marbles being thrust out of the bowl, and it turned out with the motion blur and the depth of field, it looks pretty dynamic. I mean, there's things you could do to tidy it up. It's there's lots of other kind of compositions you could try, but for the purposes of this tutorial, I hope you were happy, and wish you all the best in your creative journey. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you've enjoyed it, or downvote it if you didn't. I will see you in the next tutorial. Thank you for your time. All the best, and bye bye.